call to order the Tuesday, August 27th meeting of the St. Bernard Community Improvement Corporation. And we'll have a call to order by me, I guess. So we'll have President Jonathan Stuchel here. Tom Rolfson.
Yes.
Bob Culberson. Chris Schildmeyer. Joe Brickler.
Here.
Peggy Brickweg. Ray Culberson.
Here.
Jeff Edwards.
Here.
Allie Palmer. Chris Sauer.
Here.
Amy O'Smalley.
Here.
Okay. You all have a copy of the minutes presented to you. Is there a motion to accept the minutes as printed?
Mr. President, I'll make a motion we accept the minutes as printed.
I'll second it.
And do we have a report for our treasurer, Bob Culberson?
Yes. The current balance in the checking account at Fifth Third is $229,420.68. This is after paying property taxes and general utility lawn care invoices. The First State Bank account had no activity, and therefore the balance remains the same as the last update. That concludes the report.
Thank you. As far as action items, we do not have Kathleen Norris here with us this evening, but she has been able to finally make contact with representation from the management group for the remaining tenant, or as far as the real estate firm. So they are working together to locate a possible relocation spot for them in the surrounding community. So we're hoping that works. At this point, that is the only thing really at this, holding them up, is finding the exact location. So hopefully we'll have an update from her before the next meeting that we can provide some positive information, and hopefully this would work for both the tenant and, of course, our group, so that we can move forward. As far as made contact with First State Bank, just so you're aware, the payoff for that building is $192,043.92. So I've spoken with representation there. The only thing at this point I'm waiting for, because again, if you remember, we were awarded a $200,000 revitalization grant from Hamilton County. I am waiting for the okay for us to go ahead and start paying for items that we can be reimbursed for, because again, it is a reimbursement grant. So once I get clearance on that, this is not going to be like a typical closing. So it's a matter of paying it off. They'll give us a notification they're releasing the note, and we're good. So there's no issues there. Moving into that, I'm actually going to ask Taylor to give just a little update, but we actually did get another grant, so whether you all realize that. So there's good information. I don't believe they've announced the exact amount, whether it was fully funded, but for additional demolition and site development for 4901 to 4911 Vine Street. And one thing I need to go ahead and make sure that I am making very clear, I am throwing a group of addresses as far as for an area. So again, there is not going to be any demolition to Skyline or Big B. It is only for the remaining shopping center structure itself that was for. So anyhow, I'll turn this over to Taylor.
Thanks, Jonathan. A quick update on that. We were just recently informed that ODOD did approve that grant for the entirety of Hamilton County, so they're still working out the details of how much is allocated to each project down at the Port Authority, who is administering this through the land bank. But the purpose of this was to allow for some additional buffer in our original demolition number that we received. It's a couple years old, so it's pretty outdated and costs have gone up. And there were also quite a few exclusions in there that we wanted to make sure we were covering in the scope of this demolition. So just related to foundations and regrading and seeding the land and making it look really nice after it's done. So good news there that we've received this grant, and as soon as we have a timing update, I will share that here.
Great, thank you. Also, I was very rude in not introducing Tim Wordman this evening, the new person sitting down here in the lower bowl. Tim is our newly hired Director of Public Services and Safety for the village, and based on his past experience, fits a definite role within our group, and he'll be a familiar face here. So, again, welcome, and sorry to introduce you in the beginning. I figure everyone figured it out with the new name tag. So it's like I got it. So I wanted to give everyone an update as well. So I have been in constant communication with our representation from Hamilton County for the administration of the grants that we've been awarded. And that is not just the current $200,000, but that is the outstanding grant that we have not fulfilled for $339,000 for demolition. So we're at a point at which would make things much simpler if we could actually start spending some of those funds. We have not had anything to report on that, and it is my suggestion that once the First State Bank building is free and clear, that we go ahead and move forward with the bidding process for demolition of that structure, and then also include a second phase of demolition for the shopping center, even though that's not ready to come down yet. But we really need to start spending that money that was awarded to us and get that building down, which is also, at the same time, it become a liability to us as well. Does anyone have any comment or thought on that?
I agree.
If that's the case, I think that I can get together with Chris on soliciting bids for that so that we can just get that process moving.
And I will also, again, if you do not have a hard copy of what the requirements are for that grant for the competitive bidding process, I can get to you if you don't already have it, but that was the one point that no matter what we do. So
can we discuss very briefly who needs to authorize the winning bid, given that the grant was actually to the village, but we own the property?
But as far as, language itself, Heidi would be able to also at the same time be able to assist with the actual advertisement that's required. As far as language for the process itself, between Taylor and Chris could assist with helping draft that, and then we would just need to make sure that we have that cleared by our legal counsel, just to make sure before it goes out. But I think we'll be good. But it would be, again, it'd be the village advertising that, but we could assist with the specifications.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. President, one question. Will that include anything going to be tore up with the parking lot, or they're just going to resurface it at the end, or is that tearing up the parking lot going to be involved in tearing down the buildings?
So at this point, I think we would leave the parking lot intact and not disrupt anything, because again, it is used for public parking at this point until firm plans are actually put forward for the redevelopment itself. We don't want to jeopardize anything for Skyline and Bigby, and again, for the community that still utilizes it for overflow from other businesses as well. So, as far as what they would do to, whether or not that becomes a mini green space in that one area, but putting a large investment in new asphalt would probably not happen, and we certainly wouldn't want to increase that footprint of green space until something's firmed up. As far as in the draft itself, if there's something that we need to, there isn't anything that we need to vote on with this. So as far as moving forward with getting this made available, to Heidi to start the process, and I will again let you know for sure once Kelly Adamson tells me we can move forward. The only other item on the agenda itself, property maintenance, as far as the VP actually wants to, again, paint or frost the windows there in the shopping center. So he's already purchased some product to try. If that doesn't work, we may be able to just, again, use a paint sprayer and spray from the inside. But I do think it wouldn't be a bad idea to go ahead and have that looking consistent, and that would also mean then just painting the plywood outside of the old phone store, just at least to make it look acceptable for a short period of time until again, the structure can be, you know, brought down. So, again, I don't think we need a, you know, approval to buy paint. That's just simple, you know, materials that we're doing. It's not gonna be of any cost. So, I mean, I'm just leaving that part open. I don't- You know, Tom has offered to do all of it. So, is there, at this point, is there anything from the board itself or any of the advisors that needs to be brought forward under open discussion or additional agenda items that anyone has? Okay, I guess good news. And there's really no one in the audience to open it up to. So I guess we're good there. At this point, we will plan on, again, having our next meeting. I think there'll be enough to talk about for the September meeting. So at this point, do I have a motion to adjourn? I didn't put it on here, sorry. 20. All right, so show our next meeting that's September 24th at 6 PM. All right, well, thank you.